My child, listen well, for this is the tale of a man who thought gold could buy love. He cast away his own blood and mocked the poor with pride. But when sickness humbled him, the one he abandoned became his only hope. Such is the way of life. The seed you throw away may one day save you.
In a land where wealth was worshipped and hearts had grown cold, there lived a man named Obaro. He was one of the richest men the city had ever seen. His name opened doors, and his money silenced every tongue. But behind his glittering smile was a heart darker than night. People in the city whispered, "Obaro's money can buy even the wind if he wishes." But those who truly knew him said, "Gold does not shine where the heart is rotten." Obaro owned the largest construction company in the country. He built bridges that touched the clouds and towers that kissed the sun. Yet he had built no bridge to the one thing that mattered: love. He believed love was for the poor, compassion for the weak, and mercy for the foolish. He would say proudly, "Money is my God, and power is my prayer." And truly, the gods of wealth blessed him for a while. Many years ago, when Obaro was still a rising businessman, he fell in love with a humble woman named Amara. She was gentle, kind, and poor, a school teacher who believed goodness was greater than gold. But when Amara became pregnant, Obaro turned his back on her. He accused her of trapping him for his wealth. He laughed coldly and said, "You want to use a child to hold me down? Never! I don't need a wife or a baby. I have money, and money is enough." And with that, he left her, alone, heartbroken, and carrying his child. Amara wept for days, but she was strong. She gave birth to a baby girl and named her Nia, which means purpose. She raised her alone through tears and toil. Every night she would look at her daughter and whisper, "Your father's heart is made of stone, but one day, my child, the wind will teach even the stone to feel." Years passed. Obaro's empire grew, but so did his emptiness. His mansion was full of servants, but his soul was empty. He had no family, no peace, only noise, luxury, and loneliness. Then, one day, sickness came knocking. It started as a cough, then a pain in his chest. Doctors from across the world came, but none could help. His organs began to fail. One evening, his doctor said quietly, "Sir, the only thing that can save you now is a rare bone marrow match, and the chances are very low." Obaro laughed weakly and said, "Find whoever you must, money is no problem." He still believed money could buy life. Days turned to weeks. Every treatment failed. His body grew weaker, and for the first time, Obaro felt fear. Not fear of death, but fear of helplessness, something his money could not command. The doctor returned one morning with hesitant eyes. "Sir," he said, "there is a woman and her daughter. They both match your rare blood type. The daughter's match is perfect." Obaro frowned. "Who are they?" The doctor replied softly, "The woman's name is Amara, and the girl, she is your daughter." The room fell silent. Obaro's heart froze. He whispered, "My daughter." He remembered the woman he had abandoned, the child he had never wanted. For the first time in his life, regret pierced his chest more sharply than pain. He murmured, I want to see her. Amara and Nia were brought to his mansion. The house that once echoed with pride now smelled of sorrow. When Nia walked in, she was tall and graceful, her eyes filled with quiet strength. She looked at the man on the bed, frail, pale, and broken. Obaro whispered, "Are you Nia?" She nodded slowly. He tried to smile, but tears rolled down his cheeks. "My daughter, forgive me. I was blinded by gold." Nia's voice was calm, but her eyes glistened. "You didn't want me when I was nothing. Why do you want me now?" Amara, standing beside her, touched her daughter's shoulder. "My child," she said softly, "sometimes God allows pain to humble those who forget where they came from. This man is still your father, even if he forgot what it means to be one." Nia looked at her mother, torn between anger and mercy. Obaro stretched out a trembling hand. "Please, Nia, I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I beg for your mercy." Days passed as Nia struggled with her choice. Everyone in the city talked about it. Will the billionaire's daughter save the man who threw her away? Finally, one morning, Nia walked into his hospital room. She looked at him and said, "I will do it. Not because you deserve it, but because I refuse to let bitterness live in my heart. Let my kindness be the lesson you never learned." The surgery was done. Obaro survived, but the real healing began not in his body, but in his soul. He sold one of his companies and built the Nia Foundation, a charity for abandoned children. He went on television confessing his past mistakes, saying, "No fortune is greater than family. No success can replace love." He began visiting schools, hospitals, and orphanages, quietly, humbly. But one evening, he returned to the old town where Amara once lived. He found her sitting beneath a mango tree, reading. Obaro knelt beside her and said, "Amara, thank you for raising our daughter. I was a fool. I have wealth, but you had wisdom." She smiled gently. "Sometimes, Obaro, the poor are rich, not in gold, but in peace." He nodded slowly, tears falling. From that day, Obaro spent the rest of his life making peace with those he had wronged. He learned to give, to listen, and to love. And as years passed, the once proud billionaire became a humble man who taught others that the heart without love is poorer than a beggar's bowl. When he finally passed away in peace, Nia stood beside his grave and whispered, "You left me once, Father, but I never left you in my heart. May your soul find rest, and may others learn from your story." And so the villagers said, the seed he abandoned became the root that saved him. The elders tell this story by the fireside even today. If you reject your roots, the storm will remind you of them. Because in life, no wealth is worth a heart turned to stone.